Hello everyone, my name is Ilya and I will show you the modification I've done to my old Keychron K4 keyboard. This is an old keyboard I've been owning for 6 years already. So this is Keychron K4 RGB backlit aluminum brown switch keyboard. This is non-hotswappable one, meaning the switches are soldered into the PCB. So little history here. I've been owning this keyboard for 6 years. I must say I've been quite satisfied with it until 2 weeks ago, when actually this little toggle switch broke off. This one that turns the keyboard on and off. So instead of buying the new keyboard, I decided to try and fix it by myself, since this looked like a pretty minor issue to me. I've ordered the replacement part from electronics supplier. This one actually the original one used by manufacturer, and as you can see I've already replaced it. It's working quite well, but in the meantime, during the course of my research about this replacement, I've stumbled upon lots of videos on YouTube of people getting so enthusiastic about keyboard modifications, changing the sound profiles, like thok sounds, making them clacky, clicky, and so on. I become quite interested into this stuff. I decided to give it a go, so I ordered some materials to do it myself. So here I've ordered poron foam from AliExpress. It's quite good quality, I must say, and is usually used for bottom case, like I did here, to absorb the sound vibrations from keystrokes. Also, I've ordered this EVA foam. I'm not quite sure whether I will use it or not, but in general this material has higher density than this one poron here, and instead of absorbing sound, it reflects it, so it produces like crispier and more marbly sound, as they say. So yes, maybe that will make sense, since this keyboard comes with Gateron Brown switches, which are relatively quiet switches, but still they considered tactile switches. So I have also ordered some lubricant like Krytox here to lube these switches. Then I've also decided to buy some switch films, because the stock switches are quite wobbly and produce a rattle sound. These PC films, like polycarbonate films, I believe, they are supposedly producing more sharp sounds. So I decided to balance out the poron foam here, which absorbs sound, makes it quieter, with these more crispy, marbly films. Then what else? On the bottom case, during the course of using this keyboard, these little silicone pads have fallen off a long time ago, so I've replaced them using new silicone pots from AliExpress. And here I used on the PCB itself, I used the switch pads, which are polyethylene switch pads, if I'm not mistaken, which are also reflecting sound instead of absorbing it. And I've decided to lay this little grid of poron foam here to compensate the vibrations of the plate. So while desoldering the switches, I've damaged one or two of these Gateron Browns, and I was not able to find the exact same switches on the market, so I've bought these Milky Brown Gateron switches, which are supposedly more quiet and produce more creamy sound. So I decided to use 3 of them for the spacebar, enter and backspace keys. As for the stabilizers, I've decided to reuse the stock ones, the original which came with the keyboard, and I've just reapplied the lubricant here, and I used the same Krytox lube which I used for the switches and the springs. And even though I applied quite a thick layer on the stabilizers wires, you can see I still have quite a lot of leftovers, which will be enough for two more keyboards, which is quite good. And as you've probably already seen here on the PCB, I've applied some Bandaid mod. I used 3M surgical tape for this one. So these are applied to the spots where the stabilizers are in contact with the PCB. So that's it for the stabilizers, and I think it's time for me now to install the switches into the plate. After that I can assemble it with the PCB and do the final soldering here. I will probably not use the soldering iron this time because it's quite time consuming. I will use this little solder paste from Amazon, from AliExpress I mean, and I'll also make use of this heat gun, which will come pretty handy, I think. Majority of the switches have been placed into their respective sockets on the plate. The only 3 switches left are these Milky Gateron Browns. The only problem here, you can see, are these plastic legs. So unfortunately I don't have the proper tool for this, but I've managed to remove the legs using the simple scissors. So I just take a small scissors and cut the legs off. It's pretty easy. Yeah, and the last one. Okay. Yeah. Actually, when I was considering this project, I wanted to go with Gateron Oil Kings switches, but my local shop didn't have them, and when I tried to go for Gateron Milky Browns, but the local shop only had 3 left. That's why I decided to just grab them and use them, one in place of the broken switch, this one. So when I desoldered it, I accidentally broke the leg, this one. So I figured it's easier to just replace the switch when the inside copper component. And so I figured I will install these Milky Browns in the spots for spacebar, enter and backspace keys, since from my experience these are the most loud keys, at least for me, because I usually apply a little bit more force than pressing these keys. That's why I think these Gateron Milky Browns are a good fit for these keys. So I'll just go and install them. And that's all. Now I'll move to assembling it with the PCB. Alright, so here is my PCB, here is my plate with switches installed, and in order to assemble it, it might be a bit tricky since you have to align the legs to the respective sockets. So I'll just push a little bit the plate, and you can see it comes in perfectly. Yeah, so all the switches are aligned well, and I'll just apply soldering paste now. After application of the soldering paste, I realized it's risky to use a heat gun here, since the melting point of the bottom housing leg is around 250 degrees, and this heat gun can heat up to 400 degrees, and it's difficult to regulate the exact temperature. So to eliminate the risk of damaging the switches, I've decided to use this 30 watts soldering iron, and maybe it took me 10 minutes to solder the switches into the PCB. Then I checked that all the keys are working properly. Then I applied 3 layers of painting tape here. First, it protects the PCB from static electricity, and it improves supposedly the sound profile of the keyboard. Here in the bottom case, I've actually decided to add a second layer of the EVA foam. So now I have 1 3mm thick layer of poron foam, and on the top I have this thin 1mm layer of EVA foam. Both materials are safe to use with electronics and should not damage the PCB, I hope. So actually everything is ready for me to do the final assembly here. So first I attach the battery to the PCB. Alright, it's working. Now, in order to assemble it with the case, you have to ensure these side toggle switches are aligned with case side switches properly and gently slide the PCB into the socket. Right. I hope it aligned well. Let's test. Yes, it seems to be working. All right. Now I put the screws in. I'm not applying too much pressure, since I think if you apply too much force, this USB-C socket will have improper alignment. Okay. Now I will install the remaining keycaps. I use the Keychron keycap set. This one is a hacker keycap set, I believe. So this one is a full set for the full-size keyboard, but since I have 96% size keyboard, I used only a subset of keys, so there are quite a few remaining. It also has two different colors for escape button. I've decided to go with this like red-orange color one. Okay, so just install the keys, the keycaps. This one not shine through, so you cannot actually see the LED lights through the keys, but it's totally fine with me. I'm not much a fan of such thing. So yeah, the whole process took me around 1 day. So it was pretty time consuming, especially the initial desoldering, when I had to use the solder sucker like this one. It took me maybe 5 hours. This was the most time consuming part. And the actual application of the foam, cutting and so on took much less time. So yeah, all the keycaps installed. And the only remaining part is installing this aluminum frame. Just slide into the place like this, and just use the last remaining screws. All right, congratulations. Let's test. Yeah, I really like the sound. It changed significantly from the stock sound.
It's like, I don't know how they call it, but it's like more marbly. It's definitely a little bit more silent than the stock one. I like it a lot. I think it was worth the whole process. Alright everyone, thank you and stay safe.